Right. Good. So tell us what you want to do.
Yeah. Under basement. For the purpose of being that. And we can hopefully all be reunited once again. We bought the house last July and been slowly trying to work out the process of legalizing this basement for that reason.
Well, first off, congratulations on graduating.
Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
How many people do you have living in the house right now?
So currently it's 5 in our nuclear family. So my parents, me, and my 2 little sisters. And since it's a 2-family home, upstairs we have a elderly couple that live upstairs and rent upstairs.
Just to give you a little background on the special permit for basements and attics. Um, we put that law into place many years ago to protect people that were living in unsafe spaces. Some were illegal, some were just unsafe. So this way we can make sure that if you're going to be living in a basement like that, it would be safer for you. The part of the rules that go along with the special permit is that you have to allow the building department to come in once a year at unannounced inspection, an inspection for the house. It doesn't mean he'll come, he may never come, but at least once a year in a reasonable hours. We won't be coming at midnight, he'll come at a reasonable hour, knock on the door, and you have to let him in to inspect the space down there. It doesn't stop him from also coming at other times if he suspects that something's illegal or going on. He can come every day, but at least once a year you have to let him in. If at some point that something you do on the plans other than what's on the plans that you're asking for and might get approved, you're doing something that changed there, then you could be subject to $1,000 a day fine and $200,000 fine also. And the permit could be revoked, where then you would have to take the entire basement and just return to a block wall. Okay, take everything out. That's just the conditions for a special permit because of over the years, so many people had tried to put illegal and unsafe apartments in basements and attics. So there's been, and I say this at every meeting when somebody comes in for a special permit, there's been a couple of houses where, one family was living in an attic in the house and we took them out of the attic, and the next couple of days after that, there was a fire and the people probably would have died because there's no way to get out of there. And there's many, many more. You can see them in the news in the paper every day. One's in the city and et cetera, et cetera. So we've just been ahead of it where luckily, knock on wood, we've been able to find the ones before, something bad happens. So that's just part of the rules that I have to let you know.
Right.
Thank you.
I have a question for Tony. Is only one emergency window required?
Yeah, from the bedroom, you need a second means of egress, and then from the rest of the basement, you do have the doors going out the back, the sliding glass doors, and the stairs to get out there.
Trustee Evans, any questions? Trustee Lopez, any questions? Anybody else? Administrator, questions, anybody? No? Trustee Henry, okay for the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans? Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez? Thank you, sir. All right, you're all set. Just call the building department, make an appointment, and he'll do all the paperwork for you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Nine Chester Avenue.
Does everyone already have a copy of the plans?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for asking.
So my name is Jonathan Merheb from Jamer Engineering. I'm making this application on behalf of the homeowner, Ermal Junkakaj. He's not feeling well, so he couldn't make it tonight. But purpose of this application, similar to the last one, it's a basement legalization. It's a smaller home. They're a small growing family. He just wants more space. Upstairs, all they have is a dining room. So proposed applications for a playroom, living area, little bar area, and a full bathroom downstairs, and adding about 600 square feet of legal living space. A second means of egress with a side door. And yeah, that's about it. Any questions?
This house had a fire over the winter. They were in the process of finishing the basement without permits and had removed the stairs to the basement. So it appeared to me they were making this into an apartment. Now they're putting the stairs back, but gonna have a bedroom, a full bath, and they're adding a door to the outside. So I do have some concerns about how this will be used.
I've discussed it with my client. I made it very clear. Actually your town laws about the fines, repeated that to him, so he's well aware of it. He assures me that he doesn't intend to use it as an apartment or rent it. It's just again, he has one kid, another one on the way, and they plan on having more. They just want more space in the home. That's
It's the same family? Or
Yeah.
same family.
same
Yeah.
family when the fire was in, they were doing okay.
Just so you know, if you could convey to your client, those missing stairs were very hazardous to the firefighters. Really fortunate no one fell in there in the heavy smoke.
You're gonna put the stairs back?
Yes, that was, so there was a previously filed application for the first floor, which showed the stairs and showed the basement to leave unfinished. This permit was filed separately just so they could begin the fire restoration work upstairs.
How many bathrooms in the rest of the house?
Only one upstairs, so they want another full bathroom downstairs for the kids to use. It's half underground, so it kind of plays more like a first floor instead of a basement. So he wanted a second bathroom for his kids to use.
How many people in the house?
Right now, husband and wife, one child and another child on the way.
Tony, can I just get clarification? Is there currently a door, or these plans are they're gonna put in a door down there?
We're gonna add that door on the side.
Okay,
That's new.
Currently, there was no other way out of the basement, except the stairs, the outside door through the garage. But they're gonna add a door out on the side of the house.
in its current format with the garage being used as the exit, could they leave it that way? Everything would be fine if that were the case, or they need to add this door?
No, you need to add a door to have a second means of egress. You could add an egress window or add a door to the outside. But you'd have to have a second way out, and you can't exit through the garage.
Thank you.
At the time of the fire, they were not conforming to the plans that they were submitted.
There were no plans.
There was nothing, so they were just doing stuff without a permit. Okay.
Tony, did they get issue any tickets because of it?
No, when the house burns down, I think that's punishment, no.
Got it.
I need greater clarity and understanding about this proposed bar area with the sink. Can you give me some details on what the plan is for that to look
It's
like?
just a sink and it's just like a sink and a little mini fridge area. He said, I mean, he likes, like, they have people over. There's nowhere for anyone to sit upstairs except for the little dining area. So it's just more space for the family and, I mean, guests, for anyone. Just downstairs. It's a small home upstairs.
You heard my speech from the last guy.
Yes,
Okay, that applies, but you actually do not pass go directly to the monopoly line here, because the second offense is an automatic $20,000 fine.
understood,
So you already had the first one from what they were doing before.
understood.
So And the other thing is we don't usually give full bathrooms downstairs. It's either a toilet and a sink or a shower and no toilet, you
Mhm.
know, because, and this brought up, I mean, I don't wanna be disrespectful, but I mean, the family was trying to do something illegal already, and then this is the perfect setup, especially like trustee Evans just mentioned about the proposed bar in it. That's a perfect spot for a kitchen, you
Mhm.
know? So I mean, I'm only one of 5 that are here, so I'm gonna say no to the full bathroom. As to sticking to our rules and laws. But that's up to everybody else.
I agree.
I'm in agreement with my colleague. That has to go.
Trustee Henry, okay for you, then?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
With the changes, yes.
Thank you, sir. Good. Point out, trustee Lopez? Yes, sir. Good, thank you. All right, so just get together with Tony and he'll,
Just to clarify, as long as they resubmit plans without the shower, I can approve it, so not come back to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, just one question, I'm sure my client will want me to ask, if you do your unannounced inspections over a few years, my client plans on having more kids and you see he's conforming, he's not renting it out and using it as the plans show. Do you think that's something that could be considered in the future to add a full bathroom downstairs?
you know, I've been asked that 1,000 times and the only answer to is you're always welcome to come back and apply, so.
Okay. All right, thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. One 38 North Central? Mr. Malera, how are you?
I'm good, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Good,
Good
thank
evening,
you.
everyone. We're here, I'm here on behalf of Malera Associates, and we had entered into an agreement with Tasca, who approached me, that they have the new dealership on 380 Sawmill River Road, or 9A. They require additional space to accommodate their vehicle overflow. And we're here to request a change in use for the premises. They plan to park about 80 cars there.
Not that really makes a difference. They're all unregistered, I'm sure, because they're for sale, but are they all new? Are they all used? Are they mixed or?
Mixed. Some are overflow for their service department. And I don't know exactly what the mix is, to be honest with you.
Okay. No, I'm just asking if it was
Sure.
just gonna be like all new cars and.
What are the vehicles currently parked there?
They are vehicles owned by the dealership and some service vehicles. I believe many of them are those Amazon vans. I have not, that was at one time that I had been there last, like 2 weeks ago.
So these vehicles that are on this change of use form, they're already parking there now.
Correct.
So help me understand why the application is coming in to change the use after the usage has already been changed.
That's on me. I entered into, they approached me. I did not want to lose them as a potential tenant, so I entered into an agreement with them. And did not think that there was any harm to it. It's an empty lot that's been unused and underutilized for quite some time. So I really didn't want to lose the opportunity to have that tenant. They were very eager to get that space, and they were actively looking at others. So I really did not want to lose them.
How long they been doing it?
I'm sorry?
How long they been parking the cars?
The the lease is for 6 months. It's actually a year, but they could get out in 6 months.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking how long they've been parking the cars there.
I would say about June 1st. Yeah.
So it took you 2 months to figure it out that you needed a permit from this building?
I didn't realize that I did need a permit, so I apologize for that. Yes.
Couple quick questions. Tony, this didn't go to the planning commission.
No.
Okay.
Usually when it's a minor.
Yeah.
It goes first and that.
I, again, I'm one of five, if anybody else thinks, Mr. Miller, I appreciate everybody coming in to try and get some more money to pay their taxes, but, that site's always been issues with vehicles.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'd like to see it go to the planning commission just to get another set of eyes on it.
Okay.
And then unfortunately follow up with, if I can remember, the back lot was always a problem with the parking. The front, that's why when we did the food trucks are in the front, and the parking was the back because they weren't gonna be there. This way the people would leave and there'd be nothing in the back lot that neighbors would see.
Correct.
And you
What-
still won't have access to North Lawn Avenue. from
That is
there.
correct.
Correct. You won't.
There's a curb cut there, but
Right, but I mean,
there's a fence there. They can't even get vehicles in and out.
right, so my next question for administrator and council is, we're looking at this as a change of use. Should there also be a site plan review? I mean, remember when the designer was there and at the back lot, remember you.
There
were
was
able to-
there was a variance given for parking, as I understand.
Right.
I wasn't
And there were-
involved back then.
Yeah,
but-
you couldn't use North Lawn, there were hours, there were lighting, there was all kinds of things that went along with that. So I just want to make sure that, the neighbors are happy with that and looking at unregistered cars,
Mhm.
that's a tough one. You know, if it was the front half, I might think a little easier, but using the back half when the neighbors are right there, it's in between two houses, the back lot. So that's a tough thing to look at your window every day. I'd like to.
What I'd like to propose is utilizing the front half and a small portion of the back
You can propose it. I mean, personally, I still like to see it go for the months at eyes and stuff because, you know, it's just,
Absolutely.
it's always been, we'd like to hear some more opinions. I do. I mean, you guys, you know, I don't know what, and then what the actual law is about the, I don't remember, like I said, we're tossed here if it's supposed to be zoning or not, but I used to be unregistered vehicles was a zoning thing. To store unregistered cars was outdoor storage. You have to have a permit.
I
through
think
zoning.
they're all registered because it,
Well, they wouldn't be if you're selling new cars. It's probably gonna meet, the new car lot is probably going to store you new cars there, like every other lot does. For
Right.
example, like the guys on top of the hill, they got on the county that they store cars at. Seriously. And you know, they got lots of cars in the lot, but they're all unregistered. So, because nobody wants to wait more than a day to buy a car. I mean, years ago, remember we walk into the dealership, you sit down, you would design your car and it would take you 3 months to get it. Okay, but today, if you don't get that car, you go to another dealership if they don't have it. So that's why when you go up to the guy on top of the hill or any other dealership, you tell them you want this type of car with this color interior, with automatic transmission, with power steering, et cetera. He'll say, okay, I got that and I'll go get it for you. So that's what I'm guessing they're doing. I can't speak because you're the landlord, but if it is the new dealership, what else is he gonna do? That's what they all do. You know, they have one of everything on stock, so this way the guy can walk out the next day after it gets washed and they drive it home. So they're probably looking for space to store cars. I mean, a lot up there is beyond full. There's the only spaces in front of their building now is for the customers. I mean, every single spot on our property is full already. So, I mean, again, I just think that we have to be careful of the zoning laws on that, you know, if it goes to the zoning board for outdoor storage and what the planning commission thinks too. You know, just because it's another set of eyes. You know, and then again, that issue is that rectangle piece in the back, it was always, you know, got converted years ago, so.
Good. I would prefer wait for the planning commission to take a look.
Well, I mean, I didn't poll the board yet, see if they want to do that, you know, I mean, I'll do that now and see if we do, I'll ask them. Do they want to send it to the planning commission and wait to hear if it's officially zoning, and if not, send it to the zoning board and all that, and then Dan, Mike, is that good, or to ask us, okay? Trustee Henry?
Yes, sir.
Trustee Evans?
Yes.
Trustee Lopez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so just make an appointment with Tony and he'll walk you through those steps, and then they meet every month, so they might be able to catch him for this month, the planning commission, I don't know the answer, but and the zoning board, whenever he has enough time to do the mailing, but
One question, there are vehicles there now?
Yeah.
What do we do in the interim?
Oh, he's been doing it for 2 months. Nobody noticed.
Yeah, well, that
Oh,
doesn't make it
no, I
right.
noticed. Oh, no, I noticed. Yeah. I can't help but be compelled that this is emblematic of two things. One, whether it's a change of use or whether it's a sign or what have you, this pattern of people coming before us after these things have already been done has got to stop. Because, I mean, this is a pattern now. And I think we have to think twice before just sometimes brushing it aside. It's like, oh, it's fine. It's not. And if we don't realize the pattern of people realizing that they can do these things without necessarily having to go through the challenge beforehand, and we're just going to brush it aside, I don't think that's necessarily a pattern we want to give credit to. The other part is this kind of highlights the need for a comprehensive plan. I've said this before, because in actuality, we have no way of knowing whether a lot that is storing unregistered cars actually fits within what the vision is for us as a community and as a village. Call me crazy, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think when this community thinks about how do you envision Elmsford, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What are the services we have? I don't think anyone's thinking, yes, a lot with unregistered cars. So I think we need to really be reflecting on what it is we're doing when we do it, not just saying, yes, because it's okay, we should go forward with it. I think we really need to reflect on both of those things as we move this process forward.
and I'm sure that'll say it in the current comprehensive plan, as trustee Evans just mentioned, it's probably already in there that no, and we actually denied another lot up on Main Street where the old ATI was for the same reason. Twice. We didn't want to look at just empty, you know, cars in there. 'Cause Dan,
These are site plan review, you know, lighting, traffic, screening. Yeah. Basically, site plan. Right. It's just improvement on what the survey shows, here, just showing the actual parking space.
There is an approved site plan for the property now, so it would be a site.
Right.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Side. And it's better. I don't mean this derogatory to our other car dealers. The car dealership we're talking about is not in the building. However, they advertise themselves as being an element in the speed industry. There are ones
Yeah.
who aren't in it, they present themselves as being
White
White
Plains.
Plains, yeah.
If
So
you have any
what-
other questions, just call Tony
So
back.
what's final determination? We're gonna allow it to exist for now?
Um,
Trustee Henry, I don't think I'm the one you want to ask,
That was to the whole board.
because
well,
I can in good conscience sit here and say, yes, continue to do the wrong thing. I can't. So if I were with my back against the wall, no, they need to go until we get this figured out, because they shouldn't be there to begin with. So no, I can't sit here and co-sign it and say, yes, let's continue doing the thing that we know is wrong.
So how many cars do you have there right now? At this moment, how
I
many
could-
cars?
I couldn't tell you right now. I don't know.
My guess is.
oh, are they? I see a mixture of, in other words, I see at night a lot of the, right, so they're driving them, so they're registered coming in and out, so I thought they were all registered. In other words, I thought people were bringing their cars in, parking the car, getting in the Amazon truck and then going to work in the Amazon truck. Because there's a lot, the numbers change every day.
My understanding is that they are owned by the dealership
Oh,
and they're not,
okay, then that's,
Uh,
yeah, that's not
it's
good.
not like a,
Yeah, we thought they were all, I thought they were registered.
it's not like,
Well, that also comes into the play where we usually don't entertain an application until the violations are cleared. So you would have to clear the violation and then before you can come back and reapply.
okay. So clear the violations, meaning,
The unregistered cars now.
okay,
Keep word on.
That's
Volkswagen,
gone.
The engine,
yeah, that's gone.
it's gone now.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
'27 Poplar?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. My name is Anthony Rizzo and I live at 3 South Mortimer Avenue up the street. I'm proposing to build this home for Mr. David Milowitz. As you can see the actual drawings there, and I have a rendering, which is of a slightly larger home. We had to reduce it so that it fit on the lot. But the colors are what we're proposing, the same colors. We're using hardy plank and we're going vertical on the white and horizontal on the deep blue. I have samples. So the home is approximately 2,400 square feet, and which is the maximum we could put on that lot. It's inspired by the home just on the other side of the lot. What number is that? No, no,
Two left,
a 25 poplar,
19, right, 21.
23 poplar. So it's got some, it's the same sort of hardy plank. They're using the board and batten, which is the vertical stuff, and a nice deep blue horizontal and the other stuff. I like the contrast. I think it looks really nice. Even though the picture is of a larger home, the same concept, we took that home and shrunk it down and made it sort of work.
And this is standard construction, right? It's not lightweight.
Standard construction.
You're the best.
Hardy plank,
I know.
doesn't melt in a fire.
No, it doesn't.
You may not have the answer to this, but does Mr. Millowitz plan to move into the home? We're gonna sell the home.
He's probably going to sell it.
Anything that's increasing inventory, I'm in favor of.
I like to increase the inventory.
This would be great for both of us.
The only thing I wish it included was the sprinkler system, but I know that's pie in the sky. I know
We'll get there.
that.
Happy to see something built on this lot, because if you go on the file, there's like 20 years worth of me sending violations to the people, the previous owners, because the grass was 3 feet tall and I had complaints from everyone. So. It's,
Yeah, I knew you said a prayer when the other side got built. It was the same thing on the other side.
I'm sorry, how big is the lot?
It's a 50 by 100 lot.
And that huge house is gonna go into this.
That's the maximum. It's actually not that big. I've actually built so many of these around town.
It's pretty good.
And it's, the last one we did on lawn was so nice that the price that it sold at was
I know,
unbelievable.
I know. I'm hoping to keep it up.
Yeah.
How long will it take?
Same.
How long is it gonna take it to,
To build it,
yeah,
they generally take about 3 or 4 months, but you know, we're trying to get gas from Con Edison, so that's always a wild card. We were very fortunate on the other house on South Lawn. We did all heat pumps. It was all electric. So it really was much easier to get. But the gas is now available. The moratorium is over. I'd like to get gas. But quite frankly, it's not a done deal yet. I have to see what's gonna happen.
See if, you can remind them to push, if they're going to do it, to at least get the line off the street onto the property, so they don't dig the street up again. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're supposed to actually bring the line to the house.
Right.
We put the meter bar in and
But I mean, maybe they can get it wide the street. I mean, they just ran past the house where you're proposing the house to put a new gas line in. So hopefully you can tap off of that and get it onto the property before they pave the street, and then you gotta dig it up to tap into the gas line to go into. the
yeah,
house
no, we
again.
don't want to do that. We definitely
Yeah,
tap
but-
into that line. I have some literature on Hardy. If anybody needs it, I just thought I'd bring it back.
Yeah, I would like that.
Sure.
We run an annual fire department seminar, and about 10 years ago, we had a speaker from Florida, and he highly recommended that.
Doesn't burn.
No, no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
don't have to paint it again.
Right.
It's at least 10 plus years.
The house I built, I don't know, it's 8 years ago, or whatever it is on South Hillside. Still, it's all hardy and it still looks, I think, really good.
A few weeks ago, we had an exterior fire that went right up the side of the house and into the attic.
Wow,
With this, it wouldn't have done that.
no.
Door.
Yeah, oh, that all melted, yeah.
What about the house behind me?
Right.
Yeah, that was fun. But,
Trustee Henry, okay for you, Dan?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, you're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you for your quality construction.
Thank you all for approving this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With the one.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
28 Cabot?
Good evening, everybody. I see there's new members of the board. I haven't met me yet. Emilio Escaladas, Escaladas Associates, Architects and Engineers. We do both. We can go to jail for two reasons. This particular house is a replacement of an existing older house that's totally gone destroyed. It's going to be removed. One advantage is we're keeping the big apron of driveway in the front. We're not digging that up. But the rest of the house, I think already Tony granted them a demolition permit, but it hasn't been executed. I think he's waiting for the permit, for the building permit to be given so that there's more continuity. The house maxes out, I believe 2,500 square feet, something like that. 4 bedrooms, 1 car garage. It is a little challenging in the grades because the grades go severely up in the back, and there's also a lot of water coming onto us, which I discussed with Tony. I think we probably will be able to do a trench and intercept it before it gets to the house. So far, we have, and in fact, just after this last presentation, because of your statement that the fire marshal said we prefer hardy plank, we just convinced him to use hardy plank instead of vinyl. For
Excellent.
the same reason that you mentioned, once that catches, it's like a match. So he agreed. So I don't know if Tony will accept that statement, but we will follow it through with the changes to the drawing and lock in that material, which is much more noble, and certainly the fire spread is much less. So that's a caveat with these drawings, but the colors are white, Arctic white. They're off, not white, but they're a little bit off white. The texture is board and batten, which is very much desirable now by these young people, and horizontal siding at the lower first floor. There's going to be a metal roof to give us a modern accent, and it'll fit in well. I think it'll revive that whole older set of houses that are there. I think it's going to be contagious. A lot of people are going to change it. I sound like Trump now, but that's all right. Good.
Thank you
Tony
for
laughed.
that
I wanted him to smile.
Thank you for that
It's a
alteration.
tough thing to do.
Thank you for that
Yeah,
alteration.
no, I heard you say it and I like it. I just mentioned it to him. He says, I agree. I think we should do it. It's going to be a much nicer look. And I said, yeah. And it's not necessarily much more money. The vinyl now, it's not that cheap. And if you get the real cheap vinyl, it's no good. It sacks. It's absolutely horrible. But I agree. The fire problem is real. And it could be a nothing fire outside and then the whole house
We've had several of those.
goes. So thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
And I will follow through, Tony, with the changes in the plan so that identifies the material.
He's done a lot of work on houses in the village, so and everything he does is always nice and
Thank you, Mayor. I feel like I'm part of this, one of you guys. I've been here 40 some odd years. I counted it the other day. Holy cow, I've been here 40 some odd years. I remember when I drove by Dr. Dolan's office and I saw this little old house, which I found later from his secretary. It was his love shack. I didn't know. I had to say it. This is a funny story.
yeah, you knew
And
Dr.
I have to say it. I think it's part of the history of Elmsford.
Mm.
And I stopped there and listened to this story. This is why I'm connected with the village and in a way with God. I went in there. I spoke to this man, very rigid, Swiss trained, Germanic doctor, and I'm a young pup. And I would like to. So I signed $90,000. I'd like to buy your property. Then I'm looking around and I said, wait a minute, I've been here before. I had like this. My father used to fix X-ray equipment. I was his muscle guy. I was the guy that picked everything up and hired the trucks. And I'm saying to myself, I've been here before. It's like deja vu. And I said to Dr. Dolan, is there an X-ray machine if you go left and right? He said, yeah, how do you know that? This, I was here with my father and I fixed your X-ray. He says, you're Emilio Escalada's son? You remember my dad? Because the machine was an old ancient machine, which is the one that my father trained in when he was with General Electric in Cuba. So this business was like a full circle. And and that's why he said, okay, you can buy it, 90,000. I fixed a wall for him, which I'm not supposed to do. I gave him a gift and we were friends ever since. So why did I start that story? I
I don't know, but I'm glad you did.
Oh,
Oh, you're how long you've been here?
40
years,
some
you
odd
counted,
years.
yep, you counted
40
the
some
other.
odd years. And I like it. I even like the impromptu soccer game that the Hispanic guys, my people, have behind the storage, the bread place every afternoon. And I'm glad that the cops don't go in there and kick them out. I really am. I have to mention it. If the cops are here, they know what I'm talking about, and they're a little loud at times, but it is such a feeling of community in a way that they're happy. They have a place to talk, to socialize, to play a little soccer, to play their music. And I'm happy. I go out there, to me, it's music. Anyway, I'm saying it because it's my feedback to you guys. You guys are in charge. You got to keep things balanced. So I'm glad that they're not being chased out. That's all. So anyway, that's it. I have nothing else to say. I wanted Tony to be laughing and be on my side. Sometimes it's tough. He's got to put up with my drawings. But I love him. He doesn't know that. I love him. But I wanted to tell him I'm older than him.
He knows now.
Huh? He's what? No, he wouldn't accept that because he's a perfectionist. He's a perfectionist. And Tony, you have a perfectionist here. And I always, when I'm going to file in UMSL, I always look at the drawing 10 times because he likes things the way he likes them. But that's good for you guys. I was hoping that he retired so I would make it easier. But I find out that he's gonna hang around.
Wait for you to retire first.
I don't know if I will or not. What the hell am I gonna do? What the hell? You gotta know where you're going before you retire. I don't know where I'm.
Amen to that.
Yeah, right? Might as well die wearing your boots, the hell. What am I gonna do? Get fat, watch TV, play golf? I don't play golf and I don't watch TV, so I gotta do what I do. It's a good village. I like the men that run it. I just like it here. I moved from Rye to here. I want you to know that. Rye is full of garbage. I don't like it. This is a real village. I love it. And I can help the community. Like I told you, Mayor, whatever you need from me, just pick up the phone.
You've always said that, yeah.
Just don't tell Tony.
No. Trustee Henry, your favorite again?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You're all safe.
Thank you,
Good
gentlemen.
luck.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for doing it. Good. Update on the CDBGs.
So I passed out to you a new scorecard. And the purpose for that is originally we had talked about and agreed on doing 3 applications, of which number 3 was the construction of 2 new pickleball courts at White Plains Avenue Park. Since that, I told the mayor this last week, went over the project with the planning people with CDBG County, and we can't do new construction in that area. It's a flood zone. It's a new rule that HUD put into place for this, and it's not local, it's a federal put in place. So we waste our time to put that application in. So we did a little back and forth on whether we would be able to enhance. We currently have a grant approved for Legion Park to rehabilitate that playground. That's the oldest, that's the last one left in the village of the original playgrounds that was built. That is for $250,000 from the state. That's in the process of being approved. It takes a long time. But the total cost of that right now is $350,000. So our idea is to put an application in to CDBG for the $100,000 that's outstanding. And if crafted properly, 250 will be part of our match. So be free.
If
So,
it's free, it's for me.
Suggesting that we add that as number 3, take out, and then just at the board meeting, just to approve this as the revised approved application.
So just a point of clarification, I remember with CDBG, it had to fit within a certain geographic area, right?
In low and moderate.
Right. In the original, I guess, parameters, was Legion Park in there?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. How did we manage to?
So that's going to be part of the craft of putting this together. 3 years ago, when we put applications in, I think I mentioned this, I merged, the sidewalk project is just outside their area as well. And I did a blend of the census blocks to come up with that area being affected for 51%, as well as the people using the park that was eligible. And at that time, that was a little too innovative for CDBG. However, now you can do that. There was a person who had some full insight to get them to agree to that now. I won't say who that person is. So that will, it's not a certainty that they're going to agree that that blending works there, but I believe it will.
That was going to be the point that I was going to make, is that I think those that are utilizing, I think we're small enough of a community that those that would be utilizing that park would absolutely fall under the parameters and guidelines that they're providing. So it's very tough. And again, in a community of this size, to slice and dice in certain areas to get exactly what they're looking for. I think your blended idea, I think, is even more appropriate for us. So, thank you.
One question, is there any thought process involved with the rotation of tennis to pickleball courts? How that's going to be actually done?
No. I think we're gonna have to leave that up to the recreation people. I know I've talked to Wayne about how that, and Wayne was the one who gave me the idea, Wayne Baz, of doing a set schedule,
Right,
but to find out from the people what the schedule is that they'd like.
right,
Probably doing it every other day doesn't work, because you're constantly changing it out then. That it would be a block of days, like maybe Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is pickleball. The other days are tennis. Because our guys are actually gonna have to go in and
right.
put up the temporaries and take them down. I
Okay,
don't think we want to leave them out there.
yeah.
So that's something that, once that gets done, there needs to be a conversation.
Trustee Henry, okay for the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans? Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez? Thank you, sir. Further discussion for the comp time?
Right, so when we last left this subject, I had some changes to make with the consultants, which were done. And then I had the comp time issue of where I was going to go and basically negotiate payouts for people to get them down to their certain amounts. I've only done one of those so far because I didn't like the process. And part of the concern is, and I went back to our consultants and I said to them, what's your experience with management employees being limited to a certain amount of time for comp time? And he said to me, Mike, as I told you when we started this, and you gave me that 24 hours, he said that was too low for management employees. He says, because you're going to have, which is what our experience is here. You're going to want them to do their comp time when they're able to do it, to work comp time. And I'll just give an example, clerk or tax time. I mean, she can't work 9 to 5. She's got to be here longer. She's got to be here earlier. She's got to be here later. So at 24 hours, that's gonna build up very quick. And we're then going to be paying out a lot of overtime. I'm looking at two different things here. I'm looking at what's manageable and also what's affordable. The numbers that we have sitting out there, I cannot write a check for today. To be honest with you, it's not budget. Going forward, I'm sitting here, I'm watching everybody over in that box with Pete. They're basically collecting hours of comp time right now. So you can see how that could build up for them. So I asked Ian what his recommendation is, and he said, I would do 2 weeks of your time, which is 70 hours, which I don't find unreasonable. Especially in light of right now, we have, in terms of time service with us, we have a younger staff than we had 5 years ago, meaning they don't have as much vacation time anymore, where everybody else was basically maxed out. They're getting 5 weeks vacation, and then with the comp time, so it was difficult to use the comp time. Now you have new people who only have 2 weeks of vacation. They want the comp time. So this was approved for the non-union. I'm not talking about the unions, for the non-union at 24 hours. My recommendation is to finalize this book. I'm asking you to change that to 7.
Non-union meaning clerical and village hall?
The village hall staff, basically. And Brian and Joe.
Right.
And Steve.
And it's still saying that everybody who has comp time on the books will still get everything they got today. Okay.
So if you have more, so let's say we set it at 7. Well, what we were facing, what I started with 1 employee. And I said, okay, you got X amount of time, which I double checked with them, you either gotta use this time to get down below 24 hours, or I gotta pay you out. And it's a lot of money. I mean, this one, the first one I did it was a payout. It was a payout over time. But I've got other guys that had the same amount of time. So, within 6 months, that person's gonna be back. They're gonna get down to 0. Within a month or 2, they're gonna be at the 24 again, and I'm gonna start shelling out cash now every time. So that's why I want to get to the 7.
So making up an arbitrary number, somebody has 100 hours in comp time in the bank now. Starting at a certain date, when it's approved, they can earn 70 hours.
Oh, you mean more than what they have
Well,
now?
because you're gonna pay them for the prior.
Well, either that or they use it. I'm gonna give them what I did with employee A, I gave them time to use some of the time and paid them out some of the time.
Right, but if they choose to get paid out, you can pay them out. And it would be now, not upon retirement or something like that? Is that what you're thinking?
Correct.
For the
Because
stuff,
it-
for the back hours?
Correct.
All right, so,
Or the other way we could do it, with the back hours stay in place, and now going forward, you could only add 70 to it.
right, that's what I'm saying, because
can do that too.
let's just say for argument's sake, like you said, there's no money in the bank to pay for let's just use 100 again. You sit down with employee A and say, over the next 4 years, I'll pay you 25 hours a year. That doesn't affect the 70 hours going forward. Okay,
That's what I was attempting to do,
okay,
but using 24.
right, no,
24
yeah,
is just-
okay.
It's too small. So when I asked Ian, he said, make it 2 weeks at a time. So 2 weeks of the 35 is 70. In Steve's case, it would be 80 because they're 40s.
And if the department heads max out at the 70, can they get paid for that or? Right,
By the code, by the policy, once you get to the max number, whatever it is, 24/70, you either have to get paid overtime.
Or
at
start
that
using
point,
it.
Or you gotta use time to get below it.
okay.
That's the way it reads now, and that would continue. That's the same thing with the unions now.
Yeah, I think that increase makes perfect sense.
This is giving me a headache.
Another one?
So it would go to 70 at the 35-hour week and 80 at the 40-hour week. The 40-hour week people are Steve, Tommy, Dennis, and Sam. Everybody else is 35. And is this, I don't want to come back. This is in addition to what's currently on the books? Or no?
Yeah, if anybody has comp time money, we can't. That's not fair to somebody who thought they were gonna get it and then.
Oh,
we-
no,
they
they
can-
gotta get it. Legally, they
Yeah,
gotta get it.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is we're gonna use Steve. Steve has
Use 100 hours, like we're,
100 hours right now. So the new law is I'm gonna negotiate the 100 away from him, either pay out over time or whatever, or he's gonna use it. Or is the 70 a whole new ballgame?
I think it's a whole new ballgame.
Right. I just wanna make sure everybody, because that's my impression. That's what
Yeah.
I want to do. So we got the old rule and then the new rule starts today or when this thing gets printed.
Yes.
Trustee Henry, okay for the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez? Yes, sir. Thank you. To follow up on that, anybody who has like time in the bank, let's write them an official letter on how much they have and
We're gonna do that when this gets.
so everybody has that, yeah.
Yeah.
Next is to finalize the job description for the rec director.
So the item that you have, excuse me, the item you have is what you had from the budget time. It has not changed. And when we did this last time, I asked if anybody had any questions, to let me know, blah, blah, blah. Really didn't hear much from anybody. So I'm ready to do the paperwork, the civil service to create it, and I want to make sure this is what we.
I just want to make sure that the job title does not necessarily matter. It matters what civil service position we go out for. Right?
Correct. The title, actually, this title,
Does it have to be superintendent of?
the title with county is superintendent.
Okay.
And that's the goal of the people in that field to get the superintendent. So we may change it. It may be superintendent.
That's what I was going to say. It should. Okay.
And this is coming from Wayne.
Mhm.
Wayne told me that, that's, somebody might look at director and say, that's not my,
Right.
that's not my, top of the food chain.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I really noticed should be altered is that.
The only thing unless I'm missing it, we should add, tell me if it's in here and I just can't see it, is, what the village doesn't have is a recreation program. We have camp director. We have what's it called? They organize the events. We have a sports director, things like that, but we don't have somebody to actually have like a rec program for kids, which is what we're missing. And that's what we really need, so my first question would be, is that wording, should it be in here? Did I miss it? Is it under one of them headings? And if not,
It's intended to be in here.
It's
okay,
in, I would look at the first bullet, in terms of seeing it in there. So like
okay,
the
all
record,
ages and abilities using, okay.
including you.
Good,
Yeah.
I'm just making sure it's in.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay. The next question is the events coordinator, the camp director, the sports guy, which it doesn't mention the sports, I don't think, are still gonna do their job and you're just gonna oversee them.
That's the intent right now, yes.
Okay, because this would be too much for one person to do. Yeah,
3,000.
so I mean, if the person were to, yeah,
Start the program.
You
Yes.
need that 70 hours of no. No
Oh,
time.
yeah, he'd be at your first door with them compound built on, so yeah.
You have your first customer.
Yes. Yeah, right, definitely. Okay, no, I just want to make sure that he's, he doesn't get overworked.
What is the salary gonna be?
We budgeted, enough for 100 in the salary. To get to that number, 90 to 100, and then benefits.
Do you want that on the agenda, or do you need that, or is that just,
No, just so
Okay.
you're okay.
trustee Henry, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm sure this isn't gonna get approved the first time I put it down.
Well, no one knew it will. Trustee Evans? I'm sorry. Good, okay, trustee Lopez got a question.
Yeah, just, so these, specs, they gotta go to county personnel?
Yes, I had to file paperwork to create the position for us. And then in part of that paperwork, I gotta tell them what the person's gonna do, what the requirements are, and then they classify the position.
About how long does the whole process?
It could take months, couple months.
Thank you.
Ask Mike and Azo how long it is to.
Mr. Ianaza, how long did that take?
Yeah, he doesn't even want to answer.
You look scarred.
Oh, it's at least a year. The, police commissioner took it. There's something new.
We had an email come in for a request for a handicap parking space in front of, 90 East Main Street, 92 East Main Street. There's a doctor's office on the first floor, one on the second floor. It does warrant it, but this comes also under the category of the owner of the building, who's also applying for it, owns property at 3 South Edwards Avenue. And the person was putting in an apartment in the shed in the back of the yard. And Tony called him and put a stop work order in, but they never finished clearing that out. So again, 1 of 5, but it would fall under the category of clear out the violation, and then we would entertain another request, so.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, especially that. an
It's a
apartment
good
in
policy
shed.
to have.
Yeah, we've been doing it for forever, so.
Absolutely.
Been passed on to me from that, so. It's just, this way people don't, and they haven't had that handicap forever any there, so I mean, it's up to you. I mean, if Mike brought it to my attention, and so, thank you. Trustee Henry, okay with that? Or
Yes,
hold it
sir.
until Trustee Evans, okay. Trustee Lopez?
Just a quick question.
Quick answer.
It says here that the address to the doctor's office is 92.
Yeah,
East
it's
Main
90 and
Street.
92.
Oh, so it's, all right.
Yeah, there's 2 numbers on the building there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's right across from Dunkin' Donuts.
That's close. We have ones that are. This side of the building is 57, the other side of the building is 2.
Like Penske.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Where's 47 Akron? There's no such place.
First side in the building.
Yeah. Hmm.
Ambulance report has one address, the ambulance call has a different address, coroner's report has a different address. And we couldn't get it processed. That's. We have jumped through.
So if you remember, we approved renaming the street to Francomondo Way. The American Italian Club went to DiMondo's to tell them about that, and they came back with a request, could we add the wife Eileen on it? And their explanation was actually very good, is that they always cook together. Eileen was always in the kitchen, Frank was always the front person, so I said, well, that's a valid point, I'll definitely bring it up to the board. Yeah, and she said, yeah, Frank, nobody knew that she was back in the kitchen, but she'd do all the work, but he's out there, serving the same hello to everybody and doing his thing. But I said, well, I bring it up, so everybody's okay with that change.
I'm okay with it.
Absolutely.
Okay, and the street dedication is gonna be Monday, August 26th at 6 PM. That's Frank's birthday. And the-
26?
Yeah. Corner of North Lawn and Barney. Mike, do you know how, do you need, to adjust that on a board meeting? To change it, it's only a ceremony, right? Because we're adding Eileen's name, do you want that on a public? Okay. Motion to adjourn the work session,
So move.
all in favor,
Aye.
opposed, carried, please rise and follow me to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the